Court is now in session to set a temporary custody order for the 3 children of Bri and Bozo blank. Before we begin, Counselor, can you please have your client explain why he believed this was appropriate attire to wear in my courtroom? I apologize, Your Honor. I will let him explain his decision. Your Honor, I do not apologize for my outfit choice. I am my baby's superhero and shield against things that mean to do them harm, like their mother. I choose to wear this Captain America shirt to represent me shielding them from the future they would have if their mother retains custody. And the swimming trunks, is there a philosophical reason for that as well? They aren't swimming trunks, they're athletic shorts and they match my shirt. That's all. I wanted to make sure that I matched. Noted. Currently there is an emergency order in place awarding the mother sole physical and legal custody of the children. Counselor, what would your client like to receive today from the courts? Thank you, Your Honor. My client is a loving and devoted father, and the decision to keep the children away from him without any previous abudalary towards the children not only hurts him, but causes pain for the children as well. He is requesting primary physical and sole legal custody. On what grounds would granting primary physical and sole legal custody to the father be beneficial to the children? Your Honor, I have been the only stable and loving parent to these children since day one. Bri has done nothing but smoke and drink herself almost to death and speak horribly to the children. She has been pure evil to them and to me. What my client means is that he has cared for the children primarily since birth, despite also being the only working parent. He has major concerns about the mother's substance abuse issues around the children, and believes they would be safest in his custody primarily. Sir, please allow your attorney to answer the questions I direct to her. When I want to hear from you, I will ask you directly. I apologize, Your Honor. I am just so passionate about ensuring my children come home to a safe and loving environment that only I can give them. Very well, you may begin the questioning portion of today's hearing. Bri, please come to the stand. Thank you, Your Honor. Bri, is it true that Bozo is the natural father of all 3 of the children in question? Yes, it is. Is it true that my client loved being a father and wanted to have more children in the future? Objection. Relevance. Get to the point, Counselor. I am simply pointing out the character of a woman who would force her husband into an unwanted I did not force him to get a vasectomy. He chose to get one because I did not want to get a tubal and he didn't want to use protection. And I left him because we were unhappy and I finally was back in the States with family support. Moving on, is it true that my client bore the brunt of being the sole income for the family? He was the only one with a job. I was enrolled in online college, and I took on extra student loans to help with expenses, but I did not have a job as I stayed home with the children. So he was the only one working. Is it also true that my client did a majority of the child care, household duties, and other duties in and out of the home? We both cared for the house and children. I did a majority of it since I was home with the children, but he was expected to help when he was not working. That isn't how my client seems to remember it. In fact, he has recorded you demanding he complete a majority of duties over a long period of time and you simply refusing to even leave your bedroom for weeks on end. Are you referring to the period of time when I was pregnant with our youngest and on strict bed rest to avoid a miscarriage? Because yes, he did contribute more then, but also made sure to force me to do things for him knowing it would endanger the baby. I have no record of bed rest in my file. Yes, I was at risk for preeclampsia, as well as having an IUD our baby. Both of these issues caused me to prematurely have our baby and her spend time in the NICU. Your Honor, is my client going to spend the entirety of questioning being blamed for health issues she had no control of? Of course not. Moving on. Is it true that you have been previously medicated for mental health issues and you no longer take the medication you were prescribed to stabilize your moods? Once again, I was prescribed antidepressants due to postpartum depression. I no longer take the medication because I no longer suffer from postpartum depression and have been cleared by my physician. Counselor, move on from medical concerns. Do you have any other questions for the mother? No, Your Honor. I apologize. It seems I did not have the full information on these instances. Perhaps you should take this as a lesson to ensure your client is informing you of the entire situation before wasting my time in a courtroom again. Bri, you may be seated. Your attorney may begin her questioning of the other party now. Can you state your name for me? Bozo Blank. I am the father of my 3 beautiful babies and the husband to that demon over there, and I'm not here to go back and forth. I'm here to ensure my children are safe and happy. Oh, I assure you, the children's safety is everyone's top priority. Moving on. Is it true that while stationed overseas, the children primarily were cared for by their mother while you worked? Absolutely not. She was basically a warm body in the home so that my babies weren't home alone. She doesn't have a maternal bone in her body. So you would say that for the years you lived on base, the children were routinely neglected for hours on end. That's exactly what I'm saying. I was there to save them and care for them when I got home before, but because of her lies, I am not able to save them until the judge grants me custody. I see. And while the children were being neglected, what did you do to remedy the situation? I worried about them all day, and then when I came home I made sure to feed them and change them and bathe them and love on them like they needed me to. She just ignored them. Oh, of course you worried. But how did you ensure they were safe as well? Did you hire a babysitter? Did you take the children and leave their Abu Dhabi mother? No, I didn't. It was her job to care for them. And I didn't take the kids like she did. I fought to keep my family together. I fought like he 11 through the physical and mental Abu Dhabi she put me through so that my babies could have both of their parents. So she was also physically and mentally Abu Dhabi, and you chose to keep the children in that environment. I made sure they were safe. I took the Abu Dhabi, but you didn't keep them safe. When you willingly left them with a mother you claim maliciously neglected them for at least 8 hours a day. You don't know what you're talking about. You weren't there. You're right. I wasn't, but I see that by their medical records. They were healthy and growing on target. If they were being neglected, wouldn't their records show that? Of course, the doctor said they were perfect. My babies are absolutely perfect. I have put so much time and effort into raising them and keeping them healthy. I see that according to the medical paperwork, that the children also were brought to all appointments by only their mother. That doesn't sound like neglect to me. She likes to put on a show. That's all this is, a show so she gets attention and pity. Well, the real victims are me and my babies. Okay, let's move on. I see that you were discharged from the military dishonorably. Can you explain what happened? That has nothing to do with this. And I never provided my paperwork from the military to you, so clearly you engage in illegal activities to obtain paperwork that was probably falsified. Oh, I see. It was due to an $1 alt on your commanding officer. Do you frequently have uncontrollable bouts of anger like that? I had an altercation with the man my wife was sleeping with. It's not the only time she's cost me a job. Can you elaborate on that? She cost me my job in the military by sleeping around, and she cost me the job I had lined up here due to her false accusations of a hate crime that had nothing to do with me. I just signed a lease for a condo for myself and the kids. And now I don't have the income I was promised. Surely since you are only being investigated, that can't be why you lost this new job. I don't know what they taught you in law school, but they won't let you work in law enforcement if you're being investigated for a hate crime. They revoked my acceptance into the BLET program the minute she pulled that card. I see. I only have one more question. Do your children love their mother? My children, lady, my kids hate their mother almost as much as I do. They want nothing to do with her. The baby doesn't know any better yet. But once she's old enough, she will realize too. They do not want to live with her. They want me. Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor. I believe we got everything we needed. Your Honor, my client is requesting to retain sole legal and primary physical custody. She is asking that the courts grant supervised visitation to the father for the time being. My client has been the children's primary caregiver since birth, despite the attempt of the other party to paint her as a neglectful mother. The father seems to only call into question her safety as a mother now that he no longer has control over the mother herself. What about these allegations of substance abuse? My client is more than happy to leave the court today and head directly to the testing center for a hair follicle test. I see. Is there anything else you would like to present? All I ask is for the courts to take the time to review the evidence that has been provided today, the written communication, evidence of domestic violence, and clear attempts at parental alienation by the father show why he is not appropriate to have custody of these children. I have nothing further to present, Your Honor. Very well. My client has been the children's primary caregiver since birth. My requirements, I have the attempt of the other party to paint her as a neglectful mother. The father seems to own. You had your turn. Did you not hire your attorney to represent you today? I did, and yet she failed to file my affidavit or present it today. I will not allow this trial to conclude without telling my exact concerns. You need to hear me when I tell you that my children are in danger and how to fix it. You know what? Please tell me. I would hate for you to have any reason to feel as though you were misrepresented or unfairly treated. Bri Blank needs to be committed to a mental institution immediately to receive help for her deep-seated and very dangerous mental health issues. The children will be in my custody as their sole legal guardian. Once she is released, which will be determined by myself and the doctors, she will still have no parental rights to the children. She will pay me $1,000 a month in child support, as well as a fair amount for alimony to repay me for the money I have poured into her over the years. Lastly, all contact between Bri and the children will be at my discretion. When I remarry, my new wife will be able to adopt the children. Sir, I am going to be as patient as I absolutely can be with you. I understand that divorce is a difficult thing, especially when there are children involved. I cannot imagine how you must feel. I also understand that it is very easy to allow your anger and hurt to say and do things that are outside of your character. But what I will not allow is for you to continue to disrespect my courtroom, myself, and the other members of this hearing. I want to make this very clear for you. The only reason that I am not putting you on supervised visitations this hearing is because I have no evidence showing me that you are a direct harm to the children. The mother will retain sole legal custody of the children. This means, sir, that she is solely responsible for medical, education, and major life decisions for the children. She will retain primary physical custody as well. I will be awarding the father the state minimum visitation schedule every other weekend, alternating holidays, and 1 week a month during summer months. That is not enough time. I deserve at least 50/50ths. You are hurting my children with this. It can easily become supervised at the visitation center if you continue. I see that the father has also requested the return of a family vehicle that the mother has in her possession. Is this correct? Yes, the car is in my name only, and I want it back. She can't have my kids and my car. The car will remain in the mother's possession. The father will be responsible for any payments, as well as insurance for the vehicle. The car is marital property. I don't care whose name it is and if it was purchased during the marriage. The father will also begin paying monthly support to the father for the children. The father will pay a total of $380 a month in child support through the state portal online. Payments begin this month. I will also be appointing a guardian ad litem at the request of the father's attorney to represent the children in this matter. The mother and father will split the cost of the gal. Expect a phone call in the upcoming weeks to set your first meeting with her. Court is now dismissed.